bring them on. Peace, King. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Listen, they ain't give
Yes,
me the match. They
sir.
ain't give me the match yet.
Look, I just got it. We here, baby. We here, baby. We
They ain't
here,
give me the
baby.
match yet. You know what it is, man. Listen, I started out with the Lux. Okay. I started
Okay.
out with the Lux. And
Okay.
now I'm on that black. For this conversation, I had to
Nice.
pull out that black. You know,
Nice.
family, man.
Hey,
Red
listen.
family, what's up?
Hey, listen. Let me take this mask off, man. I want us to dedicate this bottle right here, to the queen that's gonna represent for all the black kings and queens around the world, the one and only Kamala Harris. That's up for this
Facts.
debate tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
We made history with President Barack Obama. First black king in office as a president. And now it's time for us to make history all over again and get that queen in office as vice president. And create a legendary moment. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So shout out to Kamala Harris. Shout out to all of the queens in the world. But listen, I think I want to do this. I think I want to do this bamboo, man. I see you got the bamboo over there.
I got it.
You know what I'm saying? I think I'm for the dark and the black excellence. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and.
I don't got another glass over here right now.
Hey, you gonna have to bottle that thing. You got to bottle that thing.
Bottle.
Hey, listen. This right here, this shot right here is for everybody tuned in. This shot right here is for everybody dealing with this pandemic. This shot right here is for anyone that may have lost their lives. This shot for anybody that's struggling. You know what I'm saying? To keep it positive. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna remain prayerful. We're gonna keep hope alive, and we're gonna be all right. You understand? We're gonna be all right, man. So this is dedicated to y'all, man. Cheers, 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 cheers. There it is. There it is. There. Let me wait for my brother. There it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Woo! Woo! Peace and blessings, King. Listen, man. I'm honored to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Man,
Salute to you. Salute to you. Salute to you first. Salute to you first. Salute to everything you've done, everything you've been doing. This amazing platform you put together. I want to congratulate you and salute you. You get online and you get on lives and your interviews and you salute everybody else and you pay homage to everybody else. Before we even start that, as a black king, as your brother, I want to get on here and salute you. I want to show love to you. I want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Salute to you as well, King. Man, we from the Bronx, man, and you've been in the game almost 20 years. You're a Bronx native like myself. You're from the birthplace of hip hop, the Mecca.
Yes, sir.
I want to jump straight into it, man. How was your upbringing in the BX?
I grew up, like you said, I'm from the Boogie Down Bronx. I'm from 169th and Washington Avenue to be exact. Building 1309, building 1451, building 1420. You know what I'm saying? Moms and pops had us moving around a lot when we was younger, man. We stayed on the block, but we kept moving up the block into different buildings, So that's what it was for me.
What was the best building?
Listen, man, they
get real funky.
They was all the same to me. They was all the same to me. So that's what it was growing up. I was blessed. They sent me to Catholic school. In Catholic school, 4th grade was when I picked up the drumsticks for the first time. Never had any inspirations or inspired to be a musician, a drummer at that. Just kind of fell into it, fell in love with it. Then, joined my church. And church was where all of the seasoning and the spice, you know what I'm saying, and the greatness was formed. That's where, me shooting in the gym, that's where Amadeus was really built. So shout out to my church, Cathedral of Greater Faith. I do want to say this before we move forward. My bishop, my pastor, passed away. Yes, passed away. Yes, thank you, my brother. So she passed away during this pandemic. Nothing COVID related, but she passed away. And I'd say this: without her, there would be no Amadeus. I remember being a little kid walking in her office asking, to be the drummer and play drums at her church. And she was like, well, I got my son on drums. Shout out to my big brother, Soup. But she was like, I can put you on percussion. And then we'll see where it goes. And, my big brother, Soup, her son, got elevated to the keyboards and the organ. And then she moved me over to the drums. And the rest was history, my brother. So rest in peace to the one and only Bishop Michelle White. I miss you so much. I love you so much. Again, there's no Amadeus without her. So that's kind of like me in a nutshell, moving forward. I wanted to be an artist. Kind of was rapping a little bit, but you know, yeah. But me being a musician and playing drums just made so much sense for me to kind of cross over into production. Production having to do with drums, rhythms, beats. It just made so much sense. Locked in. I was about 15, 16 years old. Made a decision that that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to be. And here we are, like you said, 19 years later, produced for over 100 artists, toured with Trey Songz for 13 years as his music director and tour drummer. You know, and we here, man. We here, man.
King, you know, being from the Bronx, man, how did the Bronx itself influence you musically? Because people don't understand, you know.
Right.
We got a lot of talent that come out of the Bronx, but people, if you've never been to the Bronx, you don't really know the history on hip hop and just music in general.
Right.
How has, I know you said church, you know, you played in your church, but how has the Bronx in general influenced you?
Well, it made me, and I love that question. It made me. It built who I am. You know, from my hood, they used to call my hood the 9. You know what I'm saying? Not one being 169th Street and the 9 being the other 9. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what was going on around there between the drugs, the gangs, the violence, you know, all of the craziness, right? And, you know, my mom and dad did their best to protect me from it, you know, but at the end of the day, I still saw it. I wasn't in the streets, right? I wasn't on the corners. I wasn't doing anything negative because they had the kung fu grip on me between Catholic school and church. But I still saw what I saw, and I was able to take in my environment and what I was surrounded by. And, you know, no disrespect, no shots to where I'm from and what I saw, but that just wasn't what I wanted for life, for my life. You know what I mean?
You used it to motivate you.
Right. I wanted to be great, man. I wanted to be great. I had dreams of being successful in whatever way. I thought I was going to be a basketball player. That didn't work out. Thought I was going to be a dancer. That really didn't work out. And then, you know, music kind of spoke to me, and the rest was history. I was hip-hopped out, you know what I'm saying? In church and all that, I was hip-hopped out. And that was difficult for me because my parents are very church, spiritual parents. So I had to sneak to listen to hip-hop music, you know, because they didn't approve of that. They didn't approve of the profanity. They didn't approve of the lyrics. They didn't want me listening to that. They didn't want me to turn into that, not knowing. It's like, listen, I'm not turning into that. I'm not going to try to live that life, but I like the beats. I like what they're saying. I like the vibe that I'm getting. And that's kind of, you know, what the Bronx and how that kind of, you know, my city kind of built me as a musician, producing as a person. You know what I mean?
Foxy Brown, right? Foxy Brown was the first, I would say the first big artist, right?
Yeah.
She worked with on the Cradle to the Grave soundtrack. That's pretty much how you got the foot in the door.
Facts.
Tell me about how that situation came about.
So I had a cousin through marriage. Shout out to my cousin, Joe Thompson. He was working for Anton Marchand at Interscope Records. And at that time, Anton was the vice president of A&R, if I'm not mistaken. And he got me a meeting up there with him. I remember going up there with my CD, my beat CD, and playing beats for the first time ever at a record label. Monumental. And, you know, again, like you said, I'm from the Bronx. Everything for me was boom bap, real hard samples, drums. And I went up there playing all of that. And he was like, yo, all this is crazy, but it doesn't work for what I'm working on. Like, I'm working on R&B. I got pop artists. You know what I'm saying? What you playing is too hard, right? So then he's like, but I think you should go see my sister. And I'm like, who's your sister? And he's like, Foxy. I'm like, Foxy who? Foxy Brown. I'm like, that's your sister, bro. And he's like, that's my sister. You know what I'm saying? Anton Marchand. And I'm like, and I'm a Foxy fan, so I know her last name is, you know, is Marchand, Inga Marchand. So it's just like making sense. And you're from New York, right? So he's like, yo, 7 o'clock, she's going to be at Chung King. Pull up, play these same beats you played me, and I know she's going to love something, right? So the clock strikes 7, pull up to the studio, walk in the studio, and Foxy is sitting right down, and she's just like, what up? Let me hear that. Like, straight to it. No games. Put the CD in. She vibing out. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. All right, that's what's up. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. She's like, all right, you know. Kept it real cool. Kept it real calm. You know, nothing too overexciting. She's like, yo, these are dope. All right, cool. Let me live with it. I'm going to see what's up. Right? I go home. I'm on 1 billion. It's Foxy Brown, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm on 1 billion. I leave. Get a phone call the next day. They're like, yo, Foxy recorded to 2 of your beats. One of the songs is called Get Off Me. It's a diss record, you know, against rapper Eve. You know what I'm saying? And the other one she did was, you know, for a soundtrack, a movie with DMX. And that's all they told me. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Very
And
next day.
yeah, very next day, bro. And that was the start. And this is let me show you. This is the wall art right here. You know what I'm saying? This is the plaque from that first placement ever, first beat sold ever. You know, I got that from it.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
We gotta pull up that one.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and obviously, you know, and you know this, everybody is not blessed to have that testimony, that story, you know, that start. So it was a kind of exciting, but a certain level of pressure as well. Cause I'm like, yo, I'm starting off here. Like if I'm starting off here, everything I do after this has to grow. No disrespect to Foxy, it's just elevation. You know what I'm saying? And
you have to grow.
Yes. And that's kind of what it was. And then, you know, the rest was history, man. But that was the start.
So after the Foxy, you link up with Sean Puffy Combs.
No, me linking up with Puff was like years later because when I linked up with Puff, because remember Foxy was the first artist I ever produced for, right? So when I linked up with Puff and Bad Boy for the Hitman, I had already produced for like 50 artists. So I didn't link up with.
I didn't know that. He was
So I came. You know, I probably put in like at least a good decade before
you had your credentials before.
Yes, sir. I had my credentials.
How did the Hitman, the Bad Boy situation come about with Puff? How was that phone call like?
Right. So Derek D. Angeletti, shout out to the legend, Derek D. Angeletti. You know, for those, I know you know King. For those that don't know, D. Legendary, one of the original producers under the Bad Boy Hitman team, produced Hypnotize for Big, produced All About the Benjamins, Money, Power, and Respect, executive produced the Mace album, executive produced the Black Rob album, so forth, right? So I met him, you know, at the beginning of my career, and he kind of became like a mentor and a big brother to me. You know, I used to pull up to his crib, you know, when he was living in Jersey and go grab 5 crates of records at a time and then go back to the crib and cook up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the relationship we had, right? So I would always send him beats. I would always want to get them critiqued and get his advice, and he would always give me that, right? Years down the line, had the opportunity to meet with Bobby Springsteen. Bobby Springsteen was the A&R at Bad Boy, right? So I had a few meetings with him, played him a few beats. He loved, you know, what he loved about my music. He loved how consistent I was, always wanting to come back to sit down to meet with him, right? And he hits me with this question one day. He's like, yo, I want to put you in the studio with Heavy D. You know what I'm saying? For like 2-3 weeks, work with him, build with him, you know, learn from him. I want to have you in the studio with Heavy D. So one, shout out to the Heavy D, rest in peace, one of the greatest producers and artists and dancers and performers of all time. Rest in peace, Heavy D. So was in the studio with him, and you know, he kind of put Puff on in a way, for those that don't know. So Puff would open up Daddy's house studio for him and let him do whatever he wanted to do. So we was in Daddy's house for like 2 weeks, then was in Sound on Sound studio right around the corner, I'm sure you're familiar with, for like 2 weeks. And every day, Puff would pull up to hear what we made, right? But when he would pull up, I would have, me and my brother Sue would have to leave the room. So we would see him, he would acknowledge us, we would go into the other room, they'll chop it up, play the music, Puff would say whatever he'll say, Puff exit stage right. So I was always around him and in the mix, but never really had that hands-on. And what got me there was, it was a record I did for Sherry Dennis, a shout out to Sherry Dennis, called Waiting, and it was on her debut album.
What year was this? Let's just get the year.
Don't give me the line. Hold on, let me see. Don't give me the Lion King. Let me see if I can get it up. So matter of fact, let me Google it. But yeah, so I did the record for Sherry Dennis, and that's kind of how I got Puff's attention, because it was the only record that sounded the way it did. You know what I'm saying? She was very hip hop. You know, she had the I Love You record with Jim Jones. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But this record, that was...
Look, I'm over here trying to pull it up.
Yeah, you trying to pull it up too, right? Hold on. I'm trying to see. We pulling it up, man. This is what happens when you've been in the game so long and you got all these accolades.
I see here...
Was it... Hold on, we looking.
2007. Waiting, right?
Yes.
You said waiting.
Yeah, 2007, right? So that was the record I did. Waiting kind of got Puff's attention. We scheduled a meeting. I sat down, and rest in peace, Fran Sparrow. Fran Sparrow was the manager of all of the Bad Boy Hitman producers, right? So sat down with her. She loved me. Shout out to Kevin Thompson. And, you know, she wanted to sign me, but I had to sit down and meet Puff. You know what I mean? That was the icing on the cake, the final approval. And, you know, the rest was history, man. And for me, that moment, just to give you a vibe of what it felt like, right? Because I was already on. I was already doing my thing. But I compare it to this. It's like LeBron James when he came out of high school and got signed to the NBA. Same scenario. LeBron was smashing in high school. Everybody knew who he was. You know, they knew he was going to sign a deal with Nike. They knew he was going to go to the NBA, right? But it wasn't until he signed.
That was your mama I made it moment?
Yes. To me, that was my mama I made it. Because I looked at it like Puff was Phil Jackson, right? Rest in peace, Big. B.I.G. was Michael Jordan. Mace, you know what I'm saying? Scottie Pippen. And I can keep going, you know what I'm saying? So for Puff to look at me like, yeah, I see what you're doing out there, King, and it's dope. You know, I think you dope enough to come play on my team. That was an epic moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even though I'm already doing my thing, it's a moment where a king like that who has made history, who I've looked up to my entire life, is giving me his blessings and saying, yo, come over here, come play on this team, come ball out with us. And, you know, that was a blessing, man. So that's definitely Mama made it moment.
We can't downplay that moment at all.
Yes, sir.
That was a legendary moment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How many, like, what's some of the records that you produce when you go at Bad Boy? I know you had Danny Kane.
Yeah, I had Danny Kane.
Some of the records you produce.
I produced the intro on Danny Kane, Welcome to the Dollhouse. Let me show you the wall art right here.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So Danny Kane, Welcome to the Dollhouse. I produced that.
Nice.
Did a lot of joints with Day 26. Did a lot of a lot of them didn't make the album, but you know that process. Did a lot of joints with Puff. But Puff was really intrigued by my energy and how I represented myself and how I carried myself. So, you know, he would love to have me around as he created for feedback and just to be a part of that process. He put me on the show, Making His Band, which was the show when he was actually searching for a live band to tour with him after completing the Last Train to Paris album. So that was great. He had me doing a lot of film scoring. I remember he had working for Diddy, Star Maker, and all of those different shows. He had me scoring a lot of those shows, man. So, you know, definitely a person that created a lot of opportunity, opened up a lot of doors. Absolutely. And just to see him, you know, growing up and being inspired by him, right? And wanting to be a part of the camp and the team, and it finally happening, and then getting to see him work right there in front of you and see it right in front of your face is one of the most epic experiences I've ever experienced in creativity. You know, he's a monster. Like, I'm telling you right now, a lot of people try to discredit him and not give him the props and the love that he deserves because he ain't actually pushing buttons. And you know,
I worked with him on the Bad Boy reunion tour.
Oh man!
And the work ethic is out of this world, man. Work ethic is out of this world. I've always studied Puff my whole career, and I've always studied Puff, but just to see the work,
crazy.
And the work is out of this world, man. No sleep. When I tell you that man don't sleep, man.
At all.
Puff, man, for giving me that opportunity.
Absolutely.
You know, to wrap up the Bad Boy, right? Part of this, what's something that Puff taught you or that you learned from Puff? Because sometimes Puff will teach you something without even saying it. I've spoken to different people, 112, and I've spoken to people over the years, Faith, and a lot of people learn stuff from Puff, and Puff is the type of person that he could teach you something without even telling you. What's something that he told you or he taught you in a way that is always stuck with you throughout your career?
I think it's a few things, and I'll be quick with it. I think one of the things that I learned is to never be content. Like, never, always challenge yourself. Always challenge yourself, and never be basic. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that not in a negative way or to offend anybody, right? But just always trying to be better, right? You know, like I watched him mix records and it sounds amazing, right? Amazing. Everybody in the room is going crazy. He's going crazy, and he'll stop the music and be like, "Yeah, that shaker, that's pan to the left. Let's pan that to the right. Let's turn that a little down more." I'm talking about like, and everybody's like,
What?
how you hearing that, bro?
This
Like,
is a smash. And he listening to the section. You know, it's funny because Slim told me kind of something similar. He said, "Yo, something that he learned from Puff was someone's always going to be out there trying to take your spot.
Facts.
Someone's always going to be out there trying to outwork you. So always give 150% and always go harder than the next man. Always look, even when everyone else thinks it sound dope, this looks good, always look for something that's a flaw.
Right.
Always.
Wow.
Dig for it. Dig for it.
It's crazy. I remember being in the studio and he had what's her name? Grace Jones in the studio recording this record. And he's like, "Yo, I want to catch a vibe. Let's pull up to this club real quick." We're in the studio, bro. We leave in the studio. He's like, I'm gonna come back in the hour. I'm gonna let y'all do this, record y'all parts. I'm gonna come back in the hour. I'm gonna catch a vibe real quick. Pull up to a club. I think Q-Tip was DJing. Pulls up to the club. We go in there. We make our way to the DJ booth. Hung out with Q-Tip for a little bit, playing records, vibing out, have a little drink.
Those who don't know, Q-Tip is nasty.
Yo, beast.
Have you never been in a club with Q-Tip?
Crazy.
At a party, you ain't really been to a party. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Crazy.
You got the Capris and you got the red alerts and all that, but you ain't never seen Q-Tip on the ones and twos, man. You ain't seen
crazy. So we're in there for about a half hour, right? And he's like, so we leave, go back to the studio, and he's like, "All right, where we at?" And it's like to see the level of focusness, bro.
Got the OSEPs on
it's like I'm in the studio, I'm in the club, like, "Yeah, we turned over. This is crazy," and he already ready to go. Like, all right, we back to it, bro. I'm like, what? Yeah, so he's a whole nother beast. And this is Puff after all of the albums, all of the accolades. Sean John is popping already. Ciroc is popping already. Like, all of these different business ventures and entrepreneurship and just being probably one of the richest.
20 years in,
Yo, bro.
This is Puff, because Puff counts, this one being around him and Hard on the Bad Boy reunion tour. He counts, when Bad Boy started, but you really look at prior to that, and Uptown and everything. Around this time when you came in, Puff was kind of really going on 20 years in.
Right.
Everything was, you came at a prime time.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. So the Bad Boy situation is great. It changes your life as a producer. How did you meet Trey?
So it's funny because my life and my journey bounces around, right? So I met Trey in the studio with Mike Jones. We was in Houston recording a record with Mike Jones. Trey was featured on it. Mike flew me to Houston. Mike flew Trey to Houston, right? This is Trey first album, bro. First album out, Braids. We in the studio getting busy. Drum sets in the corner. I'm like, "Yo, I'll play drums." Trey and Mike laugh. They're in tears. And I'm like, "Bruh, I'm a drummer. Like you think you vibing with the beats and the tracks. Like, nah, I'm a drummer." Like,
listen, and I got my experience. You should have added, and I got my experience from church.
Yo, right. Right.
Them church boy drummers is
out of control.
Crazy.
Like crazy.
Listen, so, if you ain't doing good, the pastor's gonna let you know.
Oh man, that's yeah. Right there in the middle of the service though. Stop the music and then be like, "No." So yeah. So I mentioned it to him. I said, listen, King, like, you're making real dope music, you're making real amazing R&B, real soulful music. Eventually you're gonna need a live band. When you do, holla at me, right? Went back to recording the record. A year later, I got a call from his manager. Shout out to Delonte Murphy.
Salute, man. He looked out.
Delonte called me, yo, for real. Yo, Delonte calls me like, "You ready to put the band together for Trey?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Well, you told Trey you was gonna put his band together, and he told me to call you. And one thing about Trey is like, if you say something, he gonna hold you to it. He gonna hold you to it." So the thing was, I've never been a music director. I never put a band together. I just played drums in church. So I didn't have any experience in that. But I kind of just spoke it up and put it out there, not really thinking, you know, you've been in the game for a long time, man. People don't, you know, be honest and real and stand by their word. You can put something out there, I cool with it, I you to
I
death,
got
right?
you. I got
Right.
you. And when
And
you make that
then,
phone call, you try to place that bid. See how
then, you
long it
know,
takes to get a hit back.
exactly. So I didn't think he was going to really call, and he called, and it was dope because again, I never put a band together. He never had a band, so it was a moment for us to grow and to figure it out together. You know, and that was 13 years ago, bro. And still to this day, I know we're in a pandemic and we're not unable to tour, but still today, I serve as his music director and tour drummer, man. And we've been all around the world.
Dude,
We
I remember, I cut you off. I remember, what was the tour that Monica was on tour?
Passion, Pain, and Pleasure.
I met you on the Passion, Pain, and Pleasure tour.
Wow.
A few of those dates, and I remember meeting you back on that tour. So when we, you know, kind of circles back, I remember back
That's
at that
crazy.
time, and that was an amazing tour. And I remember
Yo.
I've seen Trey Songz before that. My uncle was Derek Sanders, who used to own the Paradise Theater in the Bronx. So we had booked Trey before that tour, and I remember seeing Trey perform without a band and track.
Yes, sir.
It was good. I'm not gonna downplay it. It was good, but once that tour came and he had the band that he had,
crazy.
Crazy. Out of here. No,
Thank you, my brother.
Know, as a musical director, you play a very important role into an artist show. Can you give people who don't really have the insight just a little bit of details of what you do?
Absolutely. So my role, you know, obviously I hired the band, put the band together. And my job and my role is basically to take, you know, me working for Trey and working with Trey is to take Trey's vision and bring it to life musically on stage. So it's about all of those albums, all of those singles, all of those features, mixtape records, and basically put together an amazing live show and an amazing experience, you know, for you guys, the fans that, you know, spend your hard-earned money to come hang out with us for an hour and a half, you know, in your city. So that's my job, you know. So again, I work hand in hand with the band. I work alongside Trey, work alongside the front house engineer, the monitor engineer, the lighting, programmers, you know, all of the aspects in regards to putting it together a live show, you know, I have my hands on, you know. So again, Trey has album after album after album, mixtape after mixtape after mixtape, feature after feature, right? So depending on the tour, depending on the vision and direction and who we're trying to target, we'll decide on what records we do. But again, it's my job to present to him what records I feel we should do, how long we should do them. Sometimes, you know, we're not going to do the full version and say, sometimes we might do a verse in the hook, go to the fab verse, and we up out of there and we getting into bottoms up, you know. So those are all of a part of what it takes in putting together a show. And again, those are some of my roles as a music director. Segues, transition from one song to the next song. Okay, well, now we're doing a TV show, right? TV show want us to perform Can't Be Friends, and we only have 3 minutes.
Yeah,
you know, so
you gotta push that into 3 minutes. A lot of people
absolutely. So how do we cut that song down?
On stage, and it's a lot that goes into it, man. You play
right.
a major role in his production and his show, man, and you do a great job at that. So
right. Thank you, my brother.
And, most of the time, everyone just see the artist. You know, they don't see the work that's put in. You know, that's put into it. So definitely. Okay, you want a bamboo? Okay, you want to take a shot? I'm gonna pull out the bamboo. I'm drinking the black, but I'm gonna pull out the bamboo again.
Pull out the bamboo. And the only reason why I do the Bel Air.
Drink the rum. She hates when I drink the rum.
Why?
She hates when I drink the rum. She said I start doing too much when I drink the rum.
It don't mix right.
It don't mix right. It
don't
mix right in my system.
It's gonna be a good night over there, huh?
Hello.
You know, just like grown man. It's like put some hair on your chest. Meet me in the bedroom after drink. You know, hello, my brother.
Listen, if you're under 21, man, you might as well step out the room, man.
Right. Listen, if you're at home and you polying with us and you chilling with us, man, go get you something. Go get you a drink. Go get you a drink, man.
Let's put on that Trey Day.
Yeah. Legendary.
So, you know, you've been all around the world with Trey. What year? I just want to mark the year and mark the age. You were when you first started working with Trey.
let me see, because so the first tour we did was we opened up for Jay-Z on the Blueprint 3 tour.
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot
And that
all
was
about
our
that
first
tour, man.
that was our first tour, our first big tour. So that was in 2009. It was Trey, us opening up, and then it was Young Jeezy was on that tour, and then of course Hove closed it out, man. So that was monumental for us because again, us being from the Bronx, being from New York City, for us to play Madison Square Garden was epic. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm a man of my word. I'm a real king. I'm not ashamed. I'm very emotional. I shed tears. Me and my band members shed tears. I ain't gonna put them on blast, but we shed tears, man, and we couldn't believe it. We like, yo, bro, like we're really on tour. We're Jay-Z. We're Jeezy. We just shut down Madison Square Garden.
In your hometown.
In my hometown, bro.
I remember, like, because I do concerts, so I remember my first concert that I did at Madison Square Garden. And, I'm a Cancer, so they call us cry babies anyway. I cried like a baby, you know what I'm saying? Just to, people don't understand. You from New York City, the Garden, if you're doing anything in entertainment and music, you going to Madison Square Garden.
Oh, man, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal for you.
It's a big deal.
Big
stage. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not ashamed, man. I'm not ashamed. Listen, crying is good, especially when it's for a great reason. You know what I'm saying? It's epic. Again, if you know what I've come from, if you know what I've been through, if you know what I've overcome, same thing as you, King. You can relate and you can understand why there's tears of joy. Like where I'm from, where I came up, what I was surrounded by, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing. People, doubted this young little king, this young little boy from the Bronx, from the hood, from the projects, from the bottom.
They downplayed your dreams. They tell
you know what I'm saying?
You wasn't going to make it out.
Yeah,
they told you wasn't going to be anything.
Mm-hmm.
They told you that.
When
you get growing up in New York City.
Right.
You go to school, you go anywhere, and you tell people, hey, I want to do this. I'm going to be this. They're going to downplay your dreams, no matter where you at. In New York, they're going to downplay your dreams. People support you in New York, and there's no disrespect to my city. I love my city.
Right,
people
but still.
Support you when you get on. They downplay your dreams in the beginning. People, you ain't going to be what?
Right.
You going to do what?
Right.
So you got
Go get a job. Go get a job. Go do something with your life.
And you coming from that church family, you know what it is. Go get a 9-to-5. Go get you a good industrial. Go get you a trade. I hear that all the time. Go get you this. Go get you that.
Right.
And most people don't support you until you become who you are.
Right.
Damn, I remember when I started doing my thing and I started doing my shows and stuff. So many people hit me. Old teachers, old people. People that used to say, "Yo, you ain't gonna do that." And people was like, damn, I'm proud of you. Like, you really set your eyes out on something, and you did it, and you beat the odds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling, bro.
That it's a beautiful feeling, man. When you years in the game, and some of those same people come back around and be like, hey, can I get tickets to that concert?
Right. And then be like, nah, Ticketmaster G. Ticketmaster G. Hey, shout out to my sister. My real sister, my sister's on here, Unique Pearl. Shout out to my sister on here. Shout out to my brother Lucky Church on here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Code 31 Media. Did a really dope interview with her. So shout out to the Queen. And shout out to everybody that's in here. You know who's been showing a lot of love? Pretty Much Mika. Shout out to Pretty Much Mika, man. She's been commenting and showing love.
We went to school together. Good friend of mine.
Shout out to, you know what I mean? Yeah, shout out to her, man, for just showing love and engaging with us and being part of the conversation and just, you know what I mean? And really just showing love, man. I see your comments. I see you. Absolutely. Appreciate it.
So you've been all over the world with Trey, but then you produce. I try to count the records. I think it's like 18 to 20 something. You do so many records, man, for one of my favorite artists.
Man.
Brown. Just give me a brief of how that situation came about. how you linked up. Like Heartbreak on the Full Moon, you know, that
Yeah.
album has like 40-something songs.
Right.
Damn near half of them. Just give me a brief on how you linked
Hey,
up with
shout out to Breezy. You know, shout out to Breezy. And you know what's fire? The situation and opportunity came about on that tour that I met you on, with Trey and Monica. Shout out to my brother Lonnie Barreal, right? Lonnie Barreal, amazing artist, vocalist, songwriter. Lonnie was singing backgrounds for Monica, right? And, you know, I forgot. I think he was aware of who I was as a producer and just, you know, was showing love and respecting me as a producer and what I've done. And randomly, he's like, yo, I'm going to be in the studio with Chris. You know, I'm going back to L.A. You know, let me know if you have some music. I'll play it for him, see what happens. You know, I took him serious. Made a folder for him, sent him a SynthSpace link, and gave it to him, man. And, you know, just, you know, left it at that, right? A year later, we on tour. I forgot we was on the next tour. Might have been like Anticipation tour, right? And Tyga releases a mixtape called Well Done 2, right? So I'm listening to Well Done 2, and I'm like, yo, this is a vibe. This is dope. But this is part 2. Let me go back to part 1, right? Go back to part 1. I'm listening to part 1, and a record come on named titled Wonder Woman. And I'm like, this track sounds familiar. Come to find out, it's my track on Well Done's album, on Tyga's Well Done mixtape. Tyga featuring Chris Brown, Wonder Woman, right? Record is fire. Record is a year old. I Googled the record. Yo, they got a video to this joint. And this is when World Star was cranking. Video is on World Star. 12 million views, bro. Like, it's an incredible story. So obviously, Lonnie, you know, got the music to Chris, got the music to Tyga, ended up, you know, boom, boom, boom. Never got paid, never got credited, right? So I felt the weight. At this time, I'm under Puff. I'm under the Bad Boy Hitman. I hit Puff ASAP. Yo, this record is out. Chris Brown, Tyga, Wonder Woman. I ain't get paid. They got a video to it. He jumps on it. He's like, "What you want? You want a bag? What do you want to do?" So I said, "I don't want no bag. Have Chris," and this is Twitter when Twitter was heavy before Instagram. Have Chris, have Tyga tweet, "I'm the producer of that record." They tweet, it go nuts. I told Puff, I said, "Yo, right here, King, we here." I said, "Hey, Puff, do me a favor. You tweet that shit out too." He tweeted. So I got Puff, Chris, Tyga tweeting, "I'm the producer of that record." Everything was going crazy.
Smart,
right?
Freaking man.
I don't want no bag. It's a mixtape. Probably gonna get about $2,000, 2,500. I'm gonna blow that in 2 seconds. I'd rather the relationship.
Shit.
You know? And that was the start of everything, right? And
Chris Brown had some of the most followers on Twitter at that time.
Oh, bro, it was crazy. It was crazy. And then I got a call like a week later. After that, Tina Davis was managing him at the time. Tina's like, "Hey, Chris is going in the studio with Brandy. You know, put together a folder so that he can write some tracks for Brandy," right? 2 weeks go past. She calls me. I'm going through a car wash in the Bronx. She like, "Hey, Amadeus." I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" She's like, "Hey, it's Tina Davis, Chris Brown's man." I'm like, "Hey, Tina." She's like, "I got some good news." And I'm thinking she's going to say, "Yo, Chris just wrote a banger from Brandy. I love Brandy. My baby says she loves Brandy." She's like, "Nah, it's not Brandy. That session never happened. But Chris got in the studio with Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's working on a Christmas album. Chris wrote a record with Justin Bieber called Christmas Eve. They want to put it on the Christmas album." So, and that's how it started off, right? So we go from Tyga, Chris Brown, Wonder Woman, to Justin Bieber, Christmas Eve, right? To J-Lo, same girl, written by Chris Brown, right?
French.
Yes. You on your ish, King. Then we go from that to Chris Brown and the Ray J record on the mixtape that they dropped together. Then we go from that to 9 songs on Heartbreak on the Full Moon, right?
So it's 9 songs on Heartbreak.
9 songs on Heartbreak on the Full Moon. And I'm missing something. Let me go back before the J-Lo record. When him and what's the girl name was dating, bro? I'm going blank. She with Victor Cruz right now.
Karuchi. Karuchi.
Yes. There was a record called there is a record called I Can't Win.
I Can't Win, yes. I remember the art.
And we produced that, you know, shout out to Chizzy. So, and then we produced 2 songs on the X-Files, mixed Chris Brown X-Files. So these are all of the records that we got together. And then we made Perfect with Chris Brown and Dave East. You know what I'm saying? And let me take you over to my wall. Let me take you over to my wall. Because this is special, King. This is special right here, right? This is special because this is my first single that I ever produced to go gold. Shout out to the Breed. We did that one together. So this is the Davies, Chris Brown's plat. This is the Heartbreak on a Full Moon plat, the gold joint. You know what I mean? This is the platinum Heartbreak on a Full Moon. You know, and since I'm over here, this is the Trey Songz Trigger platinum album. We produced a joint called Sneaky. Me and the Breed. Yes, sir. You on your ish. This is special too, right here.
Young and May.
You know, shout out to the Young and May. Petty Wop Goals.
You did Confessions for Young and May too, right?
Yeah, Car Confessions. Produced that one with me and my brothers. Shout out to Buddha the Future and Grant's Music. We did that record. But yeah, man, hold on. Let me take y'all a little. This is that plaque for the Chris Brown Justin Bieber joint right here. You know what I mean? This is the Mike Jones. Like, I'm gonna go real quick. This is the Lil Mo. Lil Mo was one of the first artists to give me a shot and opportunity.
At the Foxy, right?
Yep. And shout out to Lil Mo because they just released her album Meet the Girl Next Door on iTunes and Spotify and all of the platforms, and it just got up there. So shout out to her.
I love Lil Mo. She's a good friend.
Oh, she's a beast, bro.
Every time I call, she's always there.
Justin Bieber Gold joint. This is, actually I showed y'all this, The Cradle to the Grave. This is Cameron, Purple Haze album. I produced Take Up to Church, the Mace Disc, Fab, from Nothing to Something album, Trey Songz, Passion Plane, which is the tour you actually went on. Showed y'all the Danny Kane joint, the Mike Jones joint. So a few things on the wall. I'm missing quite a few. I'm not gonna lie. Heartbreak on a Full Moon went 2 times platinum, so I'm missing that. I'm missing a J-Lo plaque. There's a plaque that I'm about to order for me producing on Madden and 2K. You know what I mean? That haven't got there yet. So one of the Young and May records, actually, Car Confessions. Car Confessions is on Madden 19. It's Madden 19, yeah.
Okay.
Car Confessions is on Madden 19, and then Young and May's Practice is on 2K19.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Gotcha. And it can't forget about the ESPN First Take theme song, man.
Wale.
Yes, sir. Wale. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. So let me go back because we created that record in 2016 when it was Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, and Carrie Champion. And then the show went through some changes, and now it's Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, and Molly Curum. You know what I mean? But I produced the theme song for that amazing show. So yeah, man, it's been yes, sir. It comes on every day, baby. Comes on every day, baby.
Your favorite producers, okay, haven't been on ESPN. Let me hold something, bro.
Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie. We're in a pandemic, man. Time's a little hard. If you would have caught me like this same time last year, I would have been like, "Yo, come pick it up, King. I got you. Come pick it up." But listen, we haven't performed in 7 to 8 months, man. So it's
been I miss doing shows, man. You know, nowadays, right? I'm gonna jump into this. Nowadays, most artists, you send the record to, and pretty much if they want you to critique something, they send it back and say, "Hey, listen, switch this." Now I work with a lot of artists, so I know this.
Right.
And it's not really that much hands-on with most producers and artists. Back in the day, you go in the studio, you'd be able to switch something, you'd be able to really have that.
Facts.
That solid session. Nowadays, you send most stuff in and you pretty much send it back. What's your most favorite? I know you probably have a lot. What's one you could recall your most favorite in studio with an artist?
Man, I got a few. I think a really dope night was being in the studio with Trey. We were in New York. It was a bad snowstorm. I lived upstate, and we were in the city rehearsing for a Valentine's Day show for Connecticut. And
Foxwoods?
yes,
I was at that show. They gave me
yes.
money to promote that. I was at that show.
Wow, nice. Yes, that show.
That
So,
was a bad
yo,
snowstorm.
bad. So we're in the city. We're rehearsing. From the city, I lived about an hour and a half away, and I remember Trey coming up to me, and he was like, and when I was behind the drums, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna be in the studio tonight. It's a snowstorm. You might as well just come pull up to the studio, stay overnight in the studio. You know what I'm saying? And then we just go back into rehearsal the next day, like just thug it out." And that's what I did. And that night, I think we banged out I think we was in there for like 2 or 3 days, and we knocked out about 7 or 8 records. And Sneaky, that was on the Trigger album, was one of the records. And then there's another record called With the Shit that we gave to Jim Jones because Trey wrote a hook to it. And then Jim was upstairs recording at the studio, came down because he heard Trey was there, heard the hook, and was like, "I need that." So we actually gave that to Jim Jones, featuring Trey Songz, and it was just crazy. It was just a real dope time. So I think that was a great vibe, great session. He records himself, so it was just dope to see him kind of work and right there on the spot in his head and just record and put the lyrics and put the melodies down as he's recording by himself. So I think that was epic. Another one was definitely Mike Jones. Mike is so animated, man. He's so animated. He's so passionate. Mike would have any idea and call my phone and be like, "Yo, listen to this. Yo, listen to this. Listen to that." Just a great, genuine dude. So I think I would say Mike Jones was a dope session. Trey was a dope session. And believe it or not, me and Chris Brown probably had about 40 records right now. I've never in life been in the studio with Chris. And I don't say that with a smile on my face.
So I'm
I don't
sorry
say
for
that.
downplaying because I'm saying like 20 records that I counted.
Oh yeah.
40 records.
We got about 40. Yo, we got about 40 records. Like maybe half of that haven't even been heard as of yet. I've never ever in life seen the inside of a studio alongside CB.
This is the crazy thing though. You guys have dope fucking records. Okay?
Right. I just send them everything.
I
just send them everything.
Records. So I can't imagine you guys in the studio together.
Oh man.
Really creative minds coming together, man. You
crazy,
guys
bro.
Dope records. If you don't
Thank you, my brother.
Research.
Thank you, my brother. Shout out to my Uncle Kenny on here, man. My Uncle Kenny is on here, man. My uncle, man.
So, quick recall, right? You from the BX, like myself. Quick recall of the time you first heard one of your records on the radio. It had to either be Hot at the time coming up, it had to be Hot 97 probably, because Power probably wasn't around yet.
Right.
What's the first record you hear on Hot 97? Where you at? What's going on?
Yo, we had moved and we were living on what street was it? Seymour Ave. Was it Seymour? I don't know. Was it Seymour? No, it wasn't Seymour. It was another But yo, Funk Master Flex. Foxy and them sent Funk Master Flex the Get Off Me record. And I was sitting in front of the crib in the car. And I never forget hearing the record, bro. And Flex has dropped the bombs. He was going crazy, like, "Yo, I got a new Foxy record. It's out of control. She's going at Eve. It's real heavy. She's talking crazy." Yo, and I just sat there. And he's like, "It's 7:00 tonight. It's gonna be ugly. Funk Flex, I got it first." He's talking so crazy, bro. And I remember the clock, hit 7 p.m., bro. And I just sat there in amazement, like with my jaw dropped, pause, like, yo, I made this on in my living room. And it's on the radio. It's Foxy Brown, one of the illest female rappers of all time, on my track. I was a little nervous because she was going at Eve, and I liked Eve, and I wanted to work with Eve, and I thought that she
as a producer,
you know what I'm saying? I thought she ruined my whole career, bro. But I learned by the OG. Shout out to Buck Wild, legendary producer Buck Wild. Shout out to Buck Wild. Shout out to D-Dot. But I'm like, nah, you good. That's between them two. You ain't got nothing to do with that. But that moment, bro, was epic. And he kept dropping bombs. He kept stopping the record. He kept bringing it back. And I'm just sitting there like, yo, this is really happening. You know what I mean?
Funk Flex played your first. And you know how he do.
Oh, man, he was going. It was so crazy. That one
Flex.
song in that moment lasted for like 20 minutes. And I kid you not, the song had to be like 3 minutes. But he just kept bringing it back and just dropping the bombs. And it was like, whoa.
Special.
Special, bro.
That was a special freaking moment. Of course.
Special.
Where was you at again? Where was you at?
I was in front of the crib because I was still living with my mom's. In front of the crib, in the whip, listening to the radio. Like, listening to the radio. I never forget it, bro. It's like if it was yesterday. Crazy.
Iconic, King. Iconic. You work with over 100 different artists, right? 100 different artists.
Mm-hmm.
Who's someone you haven't worked with yet that you would like to work with?
Ross, Jay-Z, so many. Beyonce, Usher, Mario, Kurt Franklin, Mary.
You know what
I mean?
I'm gonna make that happen.
Yo,
what you said?
Mary, Rick Ross, Rick Ross, Usher. Who else I said? Mary, Kurt Franklin. Yeah, I got a nice little, that I haven't been able to work with.
You said Jay-Z, right?
Jay-Z.
Columbus kicking in. I didn't know if you said it yet.
Right. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. So I feel it's gonna happen. Timing is everything. And shout out to the young kings and queens, like that's doing anything. The newer generation, you know what I mean? Like the Baby, and Lil Baby, and Megan Thee Stallion. I absolutely would love, to work with them as well. You know what I mean? So. Mm-hmm. And shout out to the new artists, man. There's a lot of new artists that's doing anything. There's a lot of artists that haven't been seen and discovered or heard as of yet that's doing anything, that I'm sure we'll come in contact with that's on point, that's passionate, that's about their business. You know what I mean? So, yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Salute. Your first big check, can you recall? Well, I'm not going to hold you too much long because I know Camille's on, right? But your first big check, can you recall what you got your first big check for?
Oh, I went crazy.
and what you did with it?
I think it's probably about like 10, 12 racks.
How old was you?
I think I was just out of high school. I went crazy. I went to Foot Locker. On 34th Street and bought every Air Force One they had there in my size, in every color. All of the fitteds, like I was eating at places I didn't even know how to pronounce. Like going to clubs, just buying bottles and just giving it away. I was going crazy. And again, I have no regrets. It was such a dope moment. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey man, you gotta live your life. You gotta live a little. You gotta enjoy it. I'm not used to seeing this type of money, especially as a young king. I don't know what this looks like. I'm going nuts. And then growing up, my parents invested in my education and my siblings' education. So we couldn't have the finest. We couldn't have the Jordans and all of the fly stuff. And, So for me, it was like a moment from, I want to get all of, what I couldn't get as a youngin'. You know what I'm saying? And I did that. And I blew probably about a good 50, 60 grand that first year and didn't even know I had got that amount of money. And I was sitting down with the accountant and he was like, you made about 70 grand this year. I was like, All of it was gone. And again, it was what I had to do. It was what I had to experience. I have no regrets. I enjoyed every moment of it. I bought all kind of suits and gaiters for church. I was playing drums and all kind of fuchsia, purple. You know what I mean?
I remember, man, me getting my first big check. It was probably around like $8 grand or something like that. And like my first big check, because I was getting checks, $1,000, $2,000, I got my first good check. It was like $8 grand. I remember going getting Maury's, going to get
Yes, sir.
Spiders, going, you know, and wilding out. You know, and as you grow, you learn to do different things with your
Yeah,
money.
you learn that next year. I'll calm my ass down, bro. I was
But
like, we can't do that
but
again. I
I
blew all
feel,
that money.
but you know, going through that, having that experience, man, is a beautiful thing. People tell you, oh, you know, stack your money, do this, do that. You know, but as a young kid and not having some of the things you want, and working hard and getting that bread, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go ball out. You're
Supposed to
supposed
go
to go get
crazy.
them J's.
Yeah, I was
You're
supposed
supposed
to.
to go get them Nikes. You're supposed to experience that and
Yes,
have
sir.
that moment.
I have no regrets.
And
None.
then after that, you're like, all right, cool. I need a
Right.
whip. I need a house. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I need this.
Right.
I need to move some money into where I need to move it to.
Exactly.
That's
Shout out to
very,
my
very.
uncle, man. Shout out to my uncle because growing up, my uncle was super duper fly. Like he had the baggy, I forgot what the pants was called, but like I remember Kid and Play wore it in the movie, like the big baggy pants and the
The MC Hammer
suspenders.
joints?
Yo, he had the MC. My uncle had the MC Hammer joints, bro, with the shoes. Was killing with the suspenders. Yo, killing them. So he like, you know how he get down. He on here right now, I'm Uncle Kenny, man.
Salute, man. Salute, 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 salute. Salute to your Uncle Kenny, man.
Word.
I can't let you get out of here without asking you, who's your top 5 producers of all time? Whether they're dead or alive, who's your top 5 producers?
No order. Puff Daddy and the Hitman. That's like I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for them. So them, whew, Dr. Dre. Why you drinking that mommy cup? My daughter's drinking that mommy. Why you drinking that mommy cup? You gotta put mommy cup back. You gotta put mommy cup. Real life right here. This real life. Real
Listen,
life.
this is
Put mommy
live.
cup
This
back.
is no edit.
So Puff and the Babble Hitman. Dr. Dre is 2. Timberland 3. Swiss 4. Ronnie Jerkins 5. I can't even stop at 5. Right?
Go ahead.
Kanye, Just Blaze, Neptunes. Those are like my top. Shout out to Missy too. In life I've never mentioned Missy Elliott, and I want to mention Missy Elliott because she represented the Queens, and she was really producing, bro. Like she was really producing. So shout out to her. Yeah, so I think that's a good 10 piece with fries right there on producer love. Hi, baby.
You know, you help shape the culture. You know, and on my show, I talk to that's who I want to talk to. You know, people who help really shape the culture. And I talk to a lot of artists. I talk to a lot of actors, entertainers, whatever you want to call them. But you know, you're my first producer. I've been doing this 3 months. You're the first producer.
Wow.
Musical producer that I had on the show. Salute to you, King. You know, salute to you. The work you've been putting on. 20 years, you produced a lot of records. And
thank you, man.
You know,
thank you.
A lot of people don't understand. It's a lot of dedication to this. It's a lot of competition. It's a lot of ups and downs. This money ain't guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Like to do this, you really gotta have a love for it.
Right.
Because you know how it is. Like the pandemic's going on right now.
Right.
People ain't touring. People ain't working. And you really gotta have a love for this to really stay in it.
Yes, sir.
And to continue to do your thing. So definitely salute to you because a lot of people don't give, you know, like some of the people you mentioned, you know, they're great. No disrespect to them, they're great. But, you know, people think of, when they think of producers, they think of certain producers who produce certain records.
Right.
And you have a lot of great records, King. So
thank you, my brother.
I tip my hat off to you.
Appreciate you, King.
I tip my hat off to you. I give you flowers while you're here.
Thank you, my brother.
I know you produced, I know you had the Music 101 tour, right?
Right.
Can you give me a brief just about what you was doing on that tour? Because I know you was helping a lot of up and coming artists.
Right. You know, so when I got into the game, you know, no one really schooled me and guided me on how to do this. You know, I had to figure it out. I had to, you know, bump my head. You know, I had to go through trials and tribulations and challenges and just find my way. And I kind of wanted to do the opposite. You know, I wanted to be a blessing to the young kings and queens that's out here that wants, you know, to be in my shoes and become record producers and creators and artists and singers and songwriters. And I wanted to give them the knowledge and the information that they need in order to be great and successful. You know what I'm saying? And that was kind of the blueprint of why we built the tour. So that was to teach the music business side of it to everybody that we came in contact with, but then also introduce them to all of the different areas in music that they can work in and be successful in. It's not about just being in the forefront and a creative person. You could be behind the scenes and play an even more important role on an artist or being behind the scenes and actually pushing an artist into their greatness. Engineers, you know, managers, sound engineers, stylists, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Marketing, A&Rs, you know, promo teams, DJs, like so many other things you can do and be and get that bag and be successful in behind the scenes instead of being in front of the camera. So that was kind of the vision behind it. That's why we did it. We did it for 3 years. Went to various schools, NYU, Yale, Harvard, Hampton, Howard, to name a few. And it was a blessing, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a blessing to be a blessing. And whenever you're a blessing to anybody, God always, returns it, tenfold and 100-fold. And not that I even looked for it. I just did me. I'm just being me at the end of the day. But it's grateful to, be blessed and just to be a part of people's lives and journeys. 10 years down the line, somebody becomes the president of the Def Jam, and they came and sat down at one of my panels and was inspired to be great and inspired to walk in their greatness. Based off of the panel that they was a part of, it's a great feeling to be a part of that. You know what I mean?
Salute to you, man. Salute to you for giving back.
Yes, sir.
Giving back, and that's what it's about. Each one.
Yes, sir.
Somebody helped you along the way. People like Foxy.
Right.
Like Puff.
Right.
Help you along the way to get to where you're at. So at the end of the day, is each one. I always believe in teaching somebody else. And putting your energy into somebody else, and pause that at the same time.
Is that me or you?
You paused on my end. There we go.
That was me?
There we go.
Okay.
Putting your energy and putting that good energy out there, and using what I don't want to get too pushy, but using what God has blessed you with. He's blessed you with this longevity. This is a blessing. Overall,
Amen.
I don't care what you believe in, but this is a blessing.
Right.
To be in the game 20 years and doing what you're doing, and there's a lot of people out here striving to do what you're doing. To be a blessing,
Amen.
Give some insight. After the pandemic is over, do you plan on doing something like this again? Do you plan on going back?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I want to get back to doing what I love. I'm passionate about helping people, passionate about, being informative to people. So I would definitely love to continue the Music 101 college tour. Can't wait to get back on the road with Trey Songz, touring with him. Can't wait to get back to Las Vegas, for my residency. Dre's nightclub, #1 nightclub in Las Vegas, #1 hip hop nightclub in Las Vegas. Shout out to my Dre's family. I perform there every week. I was performing there every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Fly back home on Mondays, man. So I love to get back to doing that. And just,
I think I was there when was Kevin Hart? Was that there?
Yeah. He was there.
Kevin Hart and I think Fabulous.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was there that weekend, and
nice.
I linked up with Big Fendi.
Yes, sir.
Come with us, bam, 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 bam. And I saw you there, but I couldn't get to you. I saw you there. And
wow.
At that time, man. So we and I have.
And next time you on your way, you let the king know you coming, man, so I can roll out the red carpet, man, and you can come hang with me, and we do it the right way.
Listen, I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm one of those.
Please
people.
do.
Listen,
I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word.
I got you. Where you at right now? You in New York?
Yeah, I'm in New York. Yeah, I'm in New York. I reside in Brooklyn, New York right now. I'm in New York. I'm in the crib. Nice and comfy, nice and cozy, nice and safe. You know what I mean?
Salute. Anything you working on that we can look forward to that you can discuss this a little bit?
I'm kind of just getting back into the swing of things, honestly, King. I really took I really took this time off to gather myself, get my thoughts together, really make sure I was in the right space mentally. A lot has transpired during the last few months that really took a toll on me, and I'm sure it took a toll on you. And a lot of the people that are tuned in right now. So I just needed to make sure that I was okay. My family was okay. So I'm just really getting back into the scene, working on a few things. Nothing solidified. So, as the producers, man, it ain't solidified until that joint drop. You know what I mean? So got a few things in the works, with some of my favorite artists, some of you guys' favorite artists, definitely some heavy hitters, some real big kings in the game. But as time goes by and once it's solidified, I definitely let the cat out the bag. And it might be as soon as the next 2 weeks. Something might be dropping, So if you're not following me, follow me. You know what I'm saying? Lock in, all announcements on the page. Shout out to Catch and Wreck, man. Shout out to Catch and Wreck. We did a dope producer event, listening to different producers, creating opportunities. Shout out to Catch and Wreck. My brother, shout out to Hip Hop Elise on here. Love you too, Unc. My uncle's still on here rocking. Listen, I know we about to sign off. I press record, so you cool, King. Press record, you know what I'm saying? Kamala Harris is on right now.
Yes.
Going, debating this right now with you know what I'm saying? With Vice President Pence. So if you as soon as you hop off there, jump on there, tune in, make sure you vote, please. Make sure you vote. Make sure you vote. Make sure you vote. I know you've seen enough. I know you're sick and tired, but you can't just be sitting there and sick and tired. You got to do something.
If you can vote like your life is dependent on it. Vote.
Absolutely.
People feel like, hey, listen, I don't know what's going on. Bam, bam, bam. Get in tune. Get in tune. And people try to say, listen, we've been voting for years. There's so many different excuses. But at the end of the day is, you got to vote, man. You gotta
Please vote.
Make sure that your voice is heard. Make sure that your voice counts.
Please vote.
Very, very important. There's a lot going on, especially in our community.
Right.
And we gotta vote, man. This is like do or die kind of thing. And I just want to encourage people to vote at all times. Vote every year. Vote people going into Congress.
Right.
Vote for everything. And I'm one of those people. Like, I slip up sometimes and I miss those smaller elections.
Right. They're very important, man.
They matter. They 100% matter. So it's very important. Register to vote. Do your part.
Absolutely.
Let your voice be heard. And at the end of the day, all you can say is, hey, listen, I did my part. Because, you can't complain when you're going out there putting the work in.
Right.
We take our time out to go get those new J's. We take our time out to listen to new music. We take our time out to hit the club, gym, get your nails done, ladies, whatever you're doing, go to the barbershop, get fresh. I'm not going to get too preachy with it, but take your time out of your day on November 4th.
Word.
And a lot of states have early voting as well. Make sure you register because they will turn you away if you're not registered.
Right.
So find
and I think it's the last day today or tomorrow.
Find out in your city. I know some places are the 9th. Like I think I'm in North Carolina right now. I think in my place is the 9th. Find out in your city when's the last day because it's very important. You could be living there for 10 years. If you're not registered in that county, wherever you live in, they're going to turn you away. They're going to use everything against you for you not to vote, especially when you're a person of color.
Facts.
Go out there, do what you need to do. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Go what your heart believes in.
Amen.
Vote. Salute to you, King.
Salute to you, my brother.
Night. I know you want to get to it. I want to get to it as well. Salute to
hey, listen. Hey, I'll tell you this, King. I know it's probably a bunch you didn't touch on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you probably want to open it up, for the people that are tuned in and ask their questions. So let's schedule a part 2, man. Let's schedule a part 2 where we can come back and do part 2, do another hour and get the people what they want, get the people what they need. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I use this platform to inspire people.
Right.
And that's pretty much what I'm doing. I want to use this time to really inspire people because everyone is going through a lot.
Amen.
People are feeling discouraged. People are feeling lost. People are feeling confused. Whatever you want to call it. So, you from the BX like myself.
Yes, sir.
And you pretty much really got out of the mud and you made a name for yourself. So, we like positive testimonies. So,
amen.
Definitely, I'll gladly bring you back on.
Yeah, we get a lot deeper, to answer those questions, and we'll come back on, and we'll be great again. You know what I mean? And maybe I'll pop the bear. I'll pop the belly next time.
The black.
Nah, I ain't never. Because I didn't want to waste it, King. I'm like, it's just me tonight. You know, I'm just here at the crib. You know, and you pop it open and then you lose the spiciness.
Me and wifey's we gonna finish this. I'm
Okay.
gonna fry some fish after this. We're gonna have some fish and salad. We're gonna
Ooh.
finish this. The bamboo, I'll probably save it for next time.
Okay.
I slowed down on the bamboo.
I saw that.
So this has been like this for the last couple of weeks. I haven't drank it in like 2-3 episodes.
There you go.
Some of this,
see, you know, when you come on with the king, you know, you bring out the bamboo, man.
Hello. I got one question. Let's check it in. One question.
All right.
My fiance was my executive producer of my show.
What up, Queen?
She said, did you produce anything on his? Are you referring to Trey?
Trey Songz, yeah.
On Trey's
I did
album
not.
coming out.
I did not, and I know that's not good news. I did not produce anything on the album, but I am excited about it. I think it's a great time in music. Excited to see what he brings to the table. I know he reconnected with Troy Taylor. I know you know Troy King. Connected with Troy Taylor, who's the reason why we even have a Trey Songz today. You know, so I'm excited to see, you know, what they've done and what they've made. So shout out to Trey. And prayers up for Trey. I know he's battling the COVID-19, which he announced the other day online. So much blessings to him and his family. Get well soon, my brother. But still get that album, Queen. I don't want that to just persuade you, you know, not to get the album. So go ahead and get the album. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I get on the next one.
We're
going to play it.
You know, go ahead and get the album. It's all love. You know, it's all love.
We're probably going to make another one to it. Hello?
You know. Hey, you know. Hey, listen. Hey, King, behave tonight, man. I know you was on that bamboo with your brother, you know. So, you know, be nice. You know, be nice and easy. Take it easy.
Listen,
you know,
I'm always nice. That's the thing.
Easy on the queen tonight. You might be feeling a certain kind of way. You might be feeling a certain kind of way tonight.
Listen, I'm too nice. That's what it is.
Let me pause. Let me get my shot on. All right, cool, man. Hey, this is a great session. Great vibe. We're going to come back through part 2. Bless the people again. My brother, I love you to life. Blessings to you and the queen.
Love you too, King. Love you too.
Cheers,
King.
my
Stay
brother.
Safe.
You too.
Again, everybody go out there and vote.
Absolutely. Vote, please.
If you're not following him, follow him. It's Amadeus. What is it? ABM?
Yeah, PBM. Platinum Boy Music.
PBM.
Amadeus PBM. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, you wanted to you helped shape the culture, man, and I'm giving you the flowers while you're here.
Thank you, King.
Told you.
Means a lot, my brother.
Greatest to ever do it.
Thank you, King.
Doing what you're doing. Continue putting on for the culture. You know, this industry is not easy. It will suck.
Not at all. Right.
And, you know, so for you to be going on 20 years doing this,
blessing,
to
man.
you.
Salute, my brother.
Make sure you ride and vote. Y'all stay
yes,
safe.
Sir.
Y'all
yes,
stay
sir.
blessed.
Amen.
You know, hold your family close. Tomorrow is not promised.
Amen. Copo. Copo, what up, King? Copo. Hey, yo. DJ Copo is the first DJ I ever heard in life, King. He used to plug up in front of the building, and that's the first DJ I ever heard. He just logged in right now, so shout out to Copo. You know what I mean?
Salute.
Blessings to everybody. Hey, yo, y'all log into this debate, man. Tap in. Make sure you're knowledgeable. Make sure you understand what's going on. We logging in right now. You heard? Part 2 coming soon.
Coming soon. Listen. That's all you got to do. Listen. Find out what's happening for you.
Facts.
That's it. Pay attention.
And be safe.
Be safe. Listen, I'm gonna call.
You gonna make a phone call?
I'm gonna call them up because they haven't sent me that Nash yet. So I'm gonna call them up tomorrow because I'm on a run right now. So I may get a little. I'm gonna call Bree up. I'm gonna call them all up.
Yes. Tell her mask on deck. Shout out to Bria. Shout out to Queen Bria. Shout out to Brett. The whole team. Ricky Rose.
You know what it is, man.
Lil Wayne.
Brands.
Word.
Bumble, you know the vibes.
Yeah, word. Hey, we out of here, man. Log in. Blessings.
Blessings, King. Peace.
Blessings.
Man.
Blessings.
Blessings.